this generation must learn how to break through in prayer.
And tell him guno omulembe guyina okuyiga okubotola mu ssaala.
This generation must get out of the asking level to the seeking level. And on the seeking level, God will reveal his heart. And when he reveals his heart, you enter the knocking realm of prayer.
Omulembe guno guyina okuva ku ddaala ery'okusaba gugende ku ddaala ery'okunoonya, era bwe guva ku ddaala ery'okunoonya gugende ku ddaala ery'okubotola paka Katonda wanaabikula omutima gwe.
Kona akulinaanya omugende nti waliwo Mukama kyagenda okubikulira. Why you are stagnant? Why the situation has been there for long? God must open your eyes.
Tell your neighbor, turn to your neighbor and tell him waliwo Mukama agenda kubuulira lwaki embeera emazeewo ebbanga ddene era agenda kuzibula amaaso.
Oba yabikulanga amaaso g'abantu mu ndagaano enkadde. Ezeekeri n'alaba abasajja ebintu ebimu mu kibuga n'amugamba oyo ye Jazanaya, oyo ye Peretaya, bakutte ekibuga kino bakifudde seppiki, mwe mufuuse ennyama. N'agamba naye bwanti bwe ŋŋamba aŋŋenda kuggya abantu bange mikono gya.
If he used to open the eyes of men in the Old Testament, like Ezekiel, and open and tell him everything concerning the city.
Waliwo ekintu kyenjagala Mukama bw'alaga akola mangu ate akola effectively okusinga omuntu akuba ebbanga.
When God reveals something, he works so quickly and so effectively, other than someone who hits the shadows.
Nakugambye ekintu kyenagaye bwe ndokoka ndi diipu nsaba ne mbeera mu kisiibo ne nnyingira mu bisiibo.
When I got saved, I fasted and prayed.
What is the problem?
There is some times when you're working as if something is not going on. After some years, while I was deep in prayer, God revealed it to me that you remember when you were still young and you're coming out of the shrine. My father gave me coffee and money. Aunties were sitting at the doorway and the demons were pointing. People give in and speak words, and I asked my father, what do I do? And he said, tell the grandees that when you give me money, I'll make a great feast for you. The Spirit of God took me back. And he said, this demon, you're saying you promised us a feast, you made a covenant. Whatever you do, you touch
withdraw that vow.
God told me, Sazamu, ask your neighbor, isn't God showing you anything? Ask louder, isn't God showing you anything? Speak louder, isn't God showing you anything? Tell him today, now humble yourself. There is something God is about to reveal. In this deliverance, I want you to pray. Say, Lord, I must reach out to you. I want 4 young men. 4. Join your hands. 2. For you be here. Another there. You see what the Bible says? It says,
God resists the proud,
but
he gives more grace to the if my people shall humble themselves, if my people can be proud and pray and seek my face and forsake,
and then you say,
but you have left out one step. They have
corporate churches for the corporate people that makes them tell the born again, you will bring down those fingers. I beg your pardon. People in the offices are lying to you.
taata omulala nga doctor, taata omulala nga akola ne
one of my father
bavuga emmotoka mu biseera ebyo ez'amaanyi Peugeot, oli alina Land Rover, alina ne Benz. Land Rover yatuleeteranga embuzi n'endiga ezinaasalwa mu
my paternal uncles were powerful people. They were working in powerful organizations.
Banyukanga mu office.
But after working in the offices, for us the children are already in the shrine.
Bajjanga bwe bava mu ofiisi ab'ofiisi balowooza nti bagenze waka n'amataayi gaabwe emmotoka zisibira ku ssabo ne bajjamu amataayi ne beesiba embuga ezikka wansi.
When they come out of the office,
kyukira akulina emugezi bwe bava mu ofiisi balaga wa.
Turn to your neighbor and ask him, after the offices, where do they go?
Olyoka olemu okusaba bw'osumagiramu omulokole nga baga nakyola abalokole mwasuze mu kusaba tebagenda kusuuza prayer. Tokikkiriza ekyo.
They will not stop you to pray. Do not allow that.
Ate batuuka wali bafuukira ddala ng'abantu abatetegeera bonna bakola bonna n'olaba abasajja nga batabuse.
You would see all men ready for sorcery.
Ne kati gw'oli awo.
Now for you,
it is a time to pray seriously.
Kiseera kya kusabira ddala nnyo.
Bayibuli egamba kati you can imagine this man is praying.
Omusajja ono asaba.
But the posture of standing is pride.
Engeri gy'ayimiriddemu y'amalala.
Kati jangu munyweze emikono jangu ewa Mukama.
Strengthen your hands.
Kati naye bw'atuuka ku Mukama jangu.
Let me see how he reaches out to God.
Gezaako olaba bw'alwana olaba.
You see how he's fighting?
God does what?
Katonda
resists the proud.
Aziza ab'amalala.
Naye ssebo kkako wansi kati fukamira.
But now bow.
Fukamira. Omutwe guteeke ku ttaka.
Put your hand on
yitawo tulabe oba kinaayanguwa tambula.
Go through and we see whether...
Tambula.
Wow.
Tambula. Muyimuseewo. God lifts up the humble.
Mukama w'ekisa abawombeefu.
Aha. Kakati ssebo mwe musigale wanera nga mukwataganya emikono.
Now come back holding your hand.
Wali eri.
Now go the other side.
Mukulu genda wali.
You go over there.
Genda wala.
Go very far.
Ola beera awo tunule. Buli lwe tulwa mu mbeera ya stagnancy.
Whenever we overstay in the condition of stagnancy.
Otambula butambuzi n'ogenda kuwa ne bakuteekako amafuta ne bakuteekako ebigere wali ne babinaaza ne bakusala enjala.
You pray
kanisa abantu babakoze ebintu byonna.
While moving you go to this church, they lay hands on you, in the other and they lay their feet on you, the other and they wash their feet and they cut your nails.
Osobola okuwulira Katonda ng'ali ku distance.
You can hear God when he is very far.
Have you ever prayed ng'owulira Katonda ali wala?
Wali osabyeko when you hear God is very far from you.
Nga ne bw'owoggana owulira ali wala.
Even when you shout, he is very far from you.
Ekyama ekiri mu kusaba.
The mystery in prayer.
Gy'okoma okulwa mu kifo ekyo.
The more you overstay in that place.
Gy'okoma okusenvula.
The more you take steps.
Gwe beera eri oba osenvula.
The more you take steps.
Oba osenvula.
The more you take steps.
Problemu yokka.
The only problem.
Buli lw'obeera wano ng'onootera okubotola.
Whenever you're about to break through.
Wabeera ekikudistracting.
Something comes to distract you.
Wabawo ekibaawo.
Something happens.
Kasi topapasi nga nja kubotola ku luno distraction batandika okuyita ewammwe senga wali bubi nnyo.
The moment you focus that this time I must break through, they start calling you.
Ennyumba eri ku bijja yagudde.
The house at the graveyard has fallen.
Kati gwe buli lw'ova wano n'ogenda n'obeera distracted.
Whenever you move from that place and you get distracted.
Ogenda okudda tobeera wano.
By the time you come back you're no longer here. You are very far behind.
Bw'oba maama.
If your mama.
Ng'omaliridde okusaba.
You are determined to pray.
Bw'otuuka wano.
When you reach here.
Oba oli waka osaba kati owulira obutoyo.
You are home, you are praying and you pray.
Oli wano onootera okukuba guards zino.
You are about to break the guards.
Abaana nga bakaaba.
The children will cry out.
Mami.
Mommy.
Mukwano gwange ansaze omusaayi.
My friend has
n'ofuluma olaba omusaayi.
You go out to see the blood.
Nga kantu katono nnyo bwe kati.
Something very little.
N'olowooza ogenda kudda wano.
And you think you come back in the same position.
Ozeeyo gy'otandikira.
You go back very far behind.
Bw'obeera wano.
If you are here.
Nga tuli wano ne bw'oba ogudde ku ttaka omunajja nakkoonako.
Even if you're lying on the ground someone touches you.
Nagamba.
I says.
Emmotoka wagitadde mu kkubo jangu ogigyewo.
You put your car, you park your car in the road. To remove the car.
Ogenda oyomba. Ono yazigye mu kusaba.
This one has stopped me. He has brought me down.
Oddayo wano.
You go back
behind. Omugezi ng'oli wano.
But if you're wise when you're here.
Kabonero kyakakulaga ng'oli awo.
Which sign shows that you're there?
Ngenda kakubuulira.
I'm going to show you.
Buli lw'otuuka mu level eyo.
Whenever you reach that level.
Tutunuulire. otuuka ekiseera
a time comes
ng'omazeeyo lisiti y'ebintu by'osabira Mukama nyamba Mukama nyamba.
when you have finished the list of all the things you're praying for. Lord, help me.
Lisiti yonna n'ogimala.
You mention, you finish all that list.
Ogenda okulya nga tokyalina ky'ogamba.
You feel you no longer have any other thing to mention before God.
Naye Mukama kati nkwetaaga taata.
Then you say, but Lord, I need you.
Njagala kumanya.
I need to know you.
Ekyo kiraga ovudde ku asking oyingira ku seeking.
It shows that ovudde ku kusaba oyingidde ku ddaala ery'okunoonya.
Kati oyagala Mukama musisinkana oli.
Now you want
to
meet God era kye kiruubirirwa.
Era bw'otandika awo mu seeking eyo n'olemerako.
When you start mu kunoonya and you persist,
okiwulira nti oyise ku gaadi zino.
You feel that you have gone past the gads.
Mu realm ya seeking.
And you break into the realm of seeking.
Enjala n'erinnya.
And then the hunger raises.
Ogenda okulira nga mind yo si kyesaba mutima gwe gukaaba.
You feel your mind is no longer the one praying.
God listens to the heart, the language of the heart.
Ate Katonda awulirira nnyo olulimi lw'omutima.
Bw'otuuka.
When you reach that
level, draw near to God and He will draw near to you.
That is where the Bible says into musembere Katonda naye anabasembera.
Eyo kati seeking level.
As
you draw, purify your hearts.
And it says nga musembera Katonda mulongose
emitima groan.
Musinde.
Wano wabeerawo kaba Mukama njagala kati weerabira byonna by'osabye. Manipulation z'okoze eri Katonda onoonyamu kuba bbusu. Bw'obeera eri otandika Mukama toswaza linnya lyo ng'olimba gw'otya okuswala. Tulimba Katonda kuswaza linnya lye yaliswaza gumu.
When you are there, you're saying, Lord, do not profane your name. God cannot profane his name. The more you overstay that place,
buli step gy'otwala
every step you take
Katonda gy'atwala
is the one God takes.
Ogenda emu naye ng'agenda genda naye ng'agenda era increase eno ogiwulira mu momentum ya presence ya Katonda.
In the presence of God you'll hear that increase.
Ogenda okulira toyagala kuvaawo.
Then you feel like you no longer want to depart.
Ogenda okulira omutima gwo nga gunyumirwa.
You feel like your heart is enjoying.
Ogenda okulira toyagala nakonako.
You feel like you don't want anyone to touch you.
Gamba oyingira mpola step.
You are entering.
Otwala step atwala step.
You take a step, you take a step, you take a step. Reaching this level, you no longer speak a word. That is where you see a person say, he has entered the realm.
By the time you are here,
when
God stretches His hand,
when you stand under the shadow, you can no longer speak.
Now your silence becomes His voice.
Here He reveals things. He starts manifesting or showing things. By the time you depart out of there, whatever was
creating a desire.
It creates the desire. Do you know why people don't have desire to go?
If you are meeting God in prayer, one session will give you a desire for another session. Now if
this one took you 3 hours, tomorrow you will take 2 hours. And He adds, then you come out. When you come another time, whenever you meet Him, His character starts touching you.
This is where character changes.
For me, I stayed with prayer warriors. I know them. You can pray for prayer warriors when the intercessors are very tough. They have never met God. When you meet God, He changes your character. The Bible says when Moses came from the mountain, when people looked at him, he was shining.
Your face is shining.
He said, and they even covered with a veil.
The more often you do this,
the
more clearer His voice will become. And the time will come. You don't talk long. If you learn to quote his presence, you learn the things that take away his presence. You reach a level when you are driving your car and you put on worship and he comes in your car. You just break off not the body, no soka no kabako. Or you must reach that level of walking with God.
This is the level at which God desires us.
And Enoch walked with God until he was no more. And Jesus with his disciples was transfigured on the mountain. And you tell me it's difficult? No. T.L. Osborne. I don't know what to tell you, but I can't real. This is real. And this is where certain things are going to be broken.
You will you cannot meet him the way you have been meeting him, and things remain in your life. There are things he's going to show you.
You can imagine fighting spiritual warfare here in the courtyard. Now let us imagine this is a tabernacle. You are in the courtyard where there are distractions which olutalo lwaffe olusinga olw'omwoyo luva mu bitterness, busungu. Olina obusungu kusenga osenga bwe bagamba fire gw'olaba gugenda wasenga fire gy'ogusindika.
Most of our spiritual warfare is out of bitterness and anger. You have a lot of anger and you release fire to human beings.
Here, most of your prayer is soulish.
It is what?
Soulish, fresh, in the flesh.
But when you break through and go over,
imagine meeting God here in his presence, and he shows you something. Whatever you bind in this place will be bound. Whatever you lose in this place,
when God taught us this, it struck nations. It struck nations.
This level, God began giving us prophetic word for Europe. We went prophetic word to United States. We just found ourselves seated with the senators. And one of the senators who came here looking for World Trumpet Mission, Ngeriku William Street, Mukapuku, American neighbors, and nebuuza trumpet center yeri wano ne bambuuza ne bampita kwembasi ne bambuuza senator yagazaaki abagazaaki omukuba senator najjanga anoonya World Trumpet Center yamala William n'abalala ne bampita nga mutume taliwo ne bampita wali Kololo mu maka ga ambassador.
I was called at Kololo in an ambassador's home.
Nangama, Michael, I need to break through.
He said, Michael, njagala kubotola. What you have here, we locked ourselves up.
Amajege gamunoonya bagenda okugulawo akarumbu ekati nga mutaddeko emikono tuli mu kusaba ne seneta bagulawo obuguzi bakanyama ne baggalawo ne bagamba wange kigenda maaso eyo kyonna kigende maaso.
To open the room, I want to tell you, no one doesn't desire to reach that level.
Tell your neighbor, it's one thing to be saved and another thing to encounter the Lord, to meet encountering him.
Gamba muliraanwa awo nti okulokoka kirala n'okusisinkana Katonda kirala.
Amina abalokoka.
Amen.
Kati kubirayo omuntu akayo mugambe, we have to break through, my friend.
Now tap your neighbor and tell him,
we have to break through.
We must place when something has broken. You understand what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter your character, your personality.
I've seen people with personalities. For us, we don't pray like that. The Arabs prayed. The whites prayed, they prayed. The moment they understand and the grace is there, basaba.
Touch
the hand of a neighbor and ask him,
kino kyenjogera si kyammwe si kya individuals.
What I'm speaking is not for individuals.
The church as a whole in Uganda, I'm telling you, we are in a stagnant stage.
Ekanisa yonna mu Uganda tuli mu mbeera y'okulemera mu kifo ekimu.
Nze tekisobola kunsanyusa nga abamu It
doesn't please me when people here at Eden are praying and others in other churches are not praying. God must take us from the level where we are
this mountain long in the same state.
We do something and we hate each other. A pastor is hating the other
and
pastor.
You teach on unforgiveness.
And
you don't feel anything because you don't meet God.
If
you had been meeting God, when you meet God in His presence, like seeing yourself in a mirror, exactly how you look like.
Bw'osisinkana Katonda mu kubeerawo kwe oba osobola okweraba nga bwe weeraba mu ndabirwamu.
Ekyo ekifo kiswaza ekyo kyenkulaze oswala.
That place makes you feel ashamed of sin, and then God will show you how you look like.
Ekyo ekifo Isaiah mwe yagambira, "Woe unto me."
It is the place where
I have realized I have unclean lips.
Nkizudde nti nina emimwa egitali mirongofu.
Mukama n'alonda eryanda bw'ati n'alimuyisaako. Abalokole bameka beetaaga eryanda lya Isaiah balyoke babotole. Twetagako eryanda lyokka olyoke olabe ekisobola okubeera mu Uganda.
We need a piece of charcoal.
Naye awo bakuteerako eryanda awo.
It is where they put a piece of charcoal on your mouth, on your lips.
Mukama tuyambe.
May God help us that we move away from where we are.
You must meet God personally.
Touch each and every one and tell them.
And you must have your experience, not experience of another person. You must meet God, you. You. When
you are in that condition, it is very hard. The more you meet God, He develops pillars around you. Sometimes at the place of work, people try to touch you. Do not compromise. In that place, I don't fear to mention this because I know it's the man called us at Chiziba. He said bring that kind of prayer here. He was a Catholic priest. The first time, it was the first time I saw like 200 demons departing from people. The man is called Father Magembe. He would remove the collar. Mukajanga was still a young man.